From Challengers to Dune Part 2, Godzilla x Kong to the Garfield movie, 2024 has been a pretty wide-ranging year for movies. So today I want to give you guys my best movies of 2024 so far, but with a twist. Instead of just doing a top 10 list, I'll be going through my 2024 Letterboxd stats, taking you through not only the best movies of the year, but also some underrated movies, as well as some of my most watched actors, directors, and more. But with that being said, over 97% of you guys who watch these videos aren't yet subscribed, so if you do enjoy this video and want to see more, hit that button. But don't waste any more time, let's get right into it. I have my stats pulled up right here, but before we get into it, let me know your stats as well as your Letterboxd handle in the comments down below. For a marker, I'm recording this on June 24th, but so far I've reviewed 182 movies and I've had 182 diary entries. I pretty much try to review every single movie that I watch, and I think there's a stat for that later as well. I'm going to give my 10 honorable mentions, go through the rest of my stats, and at the end of the video reveal my final top 10. So as for my 10 honorable mentions, we have Abigail, which is one of the more interesting and honestly best horror movies of the year so far, but it hasn't been a great year for horror, so it's not a high bar. Then we have Fighter. This is a big Bollywood blockbuster film akin to Top Gun Maverick, but still pretty different. 18th place is Babes. I saw this at South by Southwest. I think it's absolutely hilarious. 17th place is Love Lies Bleeding. This is one of the new A24 movies, an awesome time. 16th place is Inside Out 2. This is pretty new release, dominating the box office, and I absolutely love this film. And 15th place is Y2K. I don't know when this is coming out just yet. Saw it at South by Southwest at its world premiere, and it's damn hilarious. 14th place is Arcadian. This came out just a few months ago. I saw it at South by Southwest as well. This is so exciting. It's like Nope mixed with A Quiet Place. Love this film. 13th place is If. This movie absolutely broke me. I wish more people saw it. If you haven't seen it and you're interested in it, definitely go check it out. And 12th place is Challengers. I know that's surprising. I'm not as high about this movie as everyone else, but I still really liked it. And then 11th place is Bad Boys Ride or Die. I watched all of the Bad Boys movies for the first time this year, and I really enjoy the whole franchise. This is a great fourth film. Again, I'll get into my top 10 at the end of this video, but getting into how many movies I saw this year so far, I've logged 182 movies. That's 30.3 movies per month and 7.2 movies per week. My most days, I guess, that I watch movies, it looks like they're all on Mondays. It's because I'm unemployed, so that makes sense. Okay, so Milestones, this is where it gets a little interesting just because I'm recording this video a little bit early. But my first film of the year was Oppenheimer on January 2nd. The 50th movie I watched was on February 25th, which is crazy that I watched 50 movies in 1 month. My 50th film was Dune Part 2. My 100th movie was April 15th, which was Spider-Man 1, I believe. Probably when I rewatched it in theaters or when I watched it on film. And then we have In a Violent Nature, my 150th movie. I actually don't like this movie that much. I probably really rated it below average, which is a Patreon feature, which we'll see later in this video. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of that one. Getting to my most watched, this is where it gets a little nuts. I feel like I've seen a lot of movies twice, but they kind of cap it off at, what is it, like 8 movies total right here. So I watched Kingdom of Planet of the Apes twice. Those are both in theaters. Godzilla -1, I watched that twice, but I watched it once in theaters in like January with my friend, and when I took him to watch it for the first time, and then I watched it again when it hit Netflix. And on Netflix, I watched it dubbed actually in English. And then I watched Inside Out 2 twice. Absolutely love that movie. Civil War, watched it once in theaters, and then I just recently, like 2 weeks ago, showed it to my mom. She liked the movie as well. Bike Riders, I also watched that movie twice, and I absolutely love that film. By the way, just came out a week ago as of this video is being recorded, which is nuts. Monkey Man, I saw that 4 times. I watched it once at South by Southwest, which is the world premiere. Then I watched it once in New York, and then I watched it once with my best friend, and then once again I watched it with my dad and my brother. Comes out on VOD very soon, so I will definitely be watching it again because I believe it's an extended cut. And then The Fall Guy, I've seen this movie 4 times as well. I did watch it also at South by Southwest, the world premiere, but seen it 3 other times. I haven't seen the extended cut yet, which I'm actually trying to find as we speak, and my 5th watch will probably be that. And then Dune Part 2, obviously, I watched it 7 times. I haven't seen it since it hit VOD. I've only seen it in IMAX and then once in 4DX, so I've been pretty high about watching this film exclusively in theaters. All right, so my pie chart breakdown, I think the rating spread is what's most interesting, but we'll look at that in a sec. 2024 releases and older, so this year, 37, so let's say 38% of the movies I've seen are all from this year. Watches, this is something I really wanted to improve on upon last year, and this is why I wanted to do this mid-year check-in, is because I wanted to know if I needed to balance this out, but I'm actually on making good pace. I've had 65% of my movies that I've watched are new watches. That is crazy, and I'm so happy about that because I feel like last year all I did was rewatch. Obviously, I'm still rewatching a hell of a lot of movies, but only 35% of the movies I've been watching are rewatches, so I'm kind of happy about that. And then, obviously, I've reviewed 100% of the movies I watch, but my rating spread, this is where it's most interesting because I'm known for rating movies really highly, which makes sense. Okay, so I rated no films half a star. 2 movies I given 1 star. 1 film 1.5 stars. What was that? Oh no, it was Argyle. Let's see. 15 films are 2 stars. Okay, a lot of 2-star films, I feel like. Yeah, Doppelgangers. Okay, we'll talk about Doppelgangers later, but Doppelgangers should be a little bit lower. I'm not going to lie to you. Anyways, I did want to look at my 5 stars. La La Land, Babylon, Before Sunset, Good Will Hunting. Yeah, this totally makes sense. Anyways, getting into my most watched stars of the year. This is what I love to see. Okay, so we'll start at the bottom here. Emily Blunt, 4 movies. This actually makes a lot of sense. Oppenheimer, The Fall Guy, If, and Sicario. You know, I don't understand why people hate Emily Blunt so much. I think she's a completely, she's a good actress. Especially after watching Sicario again, I was like, damn, she's pretty underrated. She's not underrated. She's like one of the biggest stars in Hollywood, but you know what I'm saying. Tom Hardy is the GOAT. Inception, Dark Knight Rises, The Bike Riders, Venom. Oh yeah, I'm so hyped for Venom 3. You guys don't even know. And then we got James Franco. I watched This Is the End. That's probably why. But yeah, no, Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 3. I rewatched the whole trilogy this year in theaters, so makes sense. Michael, who is this guy? I don't know who this guy is, but he just snuck up the list, so congrats to him. Then we got Matt Damon. Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, these people kind of just sneak in here, especially these bigger stars, but okay, Tobey Maguire completely makes sense. Okay, let me guess. 3 Spider-Man movies, Babylon, and I don't know what the last one is. The Great Gatsby. I forgot I watched that this year. That's a good movie. Andy Serkis, 6 movies, Planet of the Apes, plus, oh my God, he's in all Lord of the Rings. Okay, I watched all the Lord of the Rings movies in theaters for the first time this year, and then I also watched all of the Planet of the Apes new trilogy again, so makes sense. These 2 might literally be me. Ryan Gosling and Timothée Chalamet. 10 movies from Ryan Gosling and 11 from Timothée Chalamet. I can explain myself. Ryan Gosling, it's because I'm literally him. Timothée Chalamet is because I did a ranking of all of his movies, and Wonka's goated as hell. But Ryan Gosling, like you can tell, it's literally his whole entire filmography. This is absurd. What kind of addiction is this? And then Timothée Chalamet, it's literally the exact same thing. Beautiful Boy, Wonka, Dune, The King, A Rainy Day in New York, Call Me by Name is Stevens, 1 and 2, Hot Summer Nights, Dune Part 2 about 7 quadrillion times, and then Little Women and Wonka. I'm spitting. You can't tell me these are bad movies. I mean, some of the Timothée Chalamets are kind of bad, but bro, they're 90% heaters. You can't blame me. And then as for directors, this is where it gets interesting. Michael Bay, I don't need to click on this. I watched the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movies and then probably Transformers movie or something. Alex Garland, Ex Machina and Civil War. David Leitch, The Fall Guy and then Deadpool 2. Damien Chazelle, Babylon and La La Land. Peter Jackson, Lord of the Rings trilogy. Sam Raimi. Did I watch Army of Darkness this year is the question. Oh no. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Banger, by the way. And then obviously the Spider-Man trilogy. Nolan, bangers. George Miller, sorry. I watched all of the Mad Max movies this year. And then Denis Villeneuve, Arrival, Sicario, Blade Runner 2049. No, did I watch Blade Runner 2049 this year? Yeah, I did. Sicario, Dune Part 2, Dune, Blade Runner 2049. Yep, completely makes sense. I watched Arrival end of last year. Forgot about that. Nothing here super pops out to me. Oh, composers. Okay, that's what I was looking for. Ludwig Göransson, 3 movies. Danny Elfman, 5 movies. Michael Giacchino, 5 movies. Hans Zimmer, 6. And Lauren Balfe, 6. I know Lauren Balfe is the one who does Mission Impossible, but I don't know how the hell I got to 6 movies. Argyle and Black Widow. No way. And he did Ride or Die and a Lego Batman movie. Wow. Okay. Argyle is bad. Black Widow is mid. The rest of these are great movies, but yeah, what in the hell? He has range, I guess you could say he has range. Okay, my most liked review, Monkey Man review from South by Southwest. This was actually featured in a Letterboxd article, which is absolutely nuts, by the way. Okay, my highs and low. My highest average is Lord of the Rings. Lowest average, Madam Web. Most popular, La La Land. And most obscure is Doppelgangers. Doppelgangers, it's not a great movie, but you know, it's an interesting one. I saw it at South by Southwest. I can't recommend it, but it was a weird movie. Okay, so rated higher than average. 5 stars for Spider-Man 3 versus a 3.04. This movie's an underrated masterclass. Arcadian, I gave it a 9 versus a 3 stars. Maybe it's because I saw Nicolas Cage on my screening, but Multiverse of Madness, I'll never stop defending this movie. It is a 9. Change Up, I think this movie is absolutely hilarious. I don't know why people don't like it. Eternals, I'm forever an Eternals defender. 4 stars versus a 2.74. And then Wonka is is a 4.5 versus a 3.27. I love Wonka. You'll never hear me stop defending it. And then, yeah, to wrap it up, here's the films I watched in 2024, and now to get into my top 10. So in 10th place for me is Furiosa. I absolutely love this movie. Obviously, it had to crack the top 10. I think there are a few visual flaws, but the story is so exciting. I did a full review on this where I said, I feel like the first act won't hold up on rewatch, but I completely lied. It's so awesome on a rewatch, and I could watch this movie all day, every day, even though it's 3 hours long. And in 9th place is Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. This is how you do a sequel super far down the line in the same world. I feel like it honors and respects Caesar's story. Like you guys saw, I rewatched the whole trilogy this year, and honestly the entire franchise. I did a whole ranking of every single movie in the franchise, and I feel like this is one of the better films that we've seen in the franchise overall, and I'm super excited for however many movies they're making down the line, because apparently they're making like 5 or 6 more, which I'm seated for. In 8th place is Late Night with the Devil. I know this movie was flooded with controversy, but I think it actually works really well. This idea of a late night show and it being taken over by this possessed girl, it's all these demonic scary things. I think it works. I feel like the movie isn't necessarily scary and I get scared really easily, but it's thrilling and it's exciting and it's unique. In 7th place for me is The Fall Guy. Now, yes, I've seen this the most out of any movie in my top 10 aside from Dune Part 2, but I absolutely love this film. I can't bump it up to a 5 stars. Maybe after watching the extended cut I can, but I think this movie is so exciting. Ryan Gosling is literally me. Emily Blunt is so great in this movie. Winston Duke is also in this film, and he's hilarious in it. Stephanie Shu, Hannah Whittingham. This movie is just so exciting all around. It pays homage to such an underrated part of the Hollywood industry. This is how you make movies about movies. In 6th place for me is The Bike Riders. This is pretty new as of when this video is coming out, but I think this film works on pretty much every single level. Austin Butler delivers probably his most vulnerable performance of his entire career so far, and he's played Elvis, and he's been in Dune Part 2. Tom Hardy is great. Jodie Comer is great. And this movie is, yes, about bikers and being in a gang and loyalties and all these crazy, super exhilarating things, but it's also an exploration of manhood and vulnerability, which I really liked. In 5th place is Sing Sing. This technically doesn't have its wide release yet. I didn't get to see this at South by Southwest, but an early screening in my town, and this movie absolutely broke me. I did a full review on this film. Again, it doesn't come out for another month at this point, but I think it is a must watch. Coleman Domingo did get an Oscar nomination for his performance in Rustin last year, but this is arguably better than that. I think this is just how you make a film about male vulnerability, and again, this one knocks it out of the park. In 4th place for me is Civil War. I've seen this movie twice, and I was on the side of people that really liked it. As you saw, I have it at a 4.5 out of 5. I think Kaylee Spain is absolutely brilliant in this film. I'm part of the Hive. I'm here for Alien Romulus. I'm here for literally anything she does. I also love Priscilla. But Kirsten Dunst is also really great. I think the actor's name is Wagner Moura, who's also in this film, and he's awesome. Jesse Plemons only has a single scene, but he's also brilliant in this film. There is so much to love about Civil War, and I think Alex Garland, yes, he might have missed with Men, but this is how you make an exciting, exhilarating, political yet not political film, and I love it. In 3rd place is Dee Dee. Now, this doesn't have its wide release yet. I actually don't know when it comes out. It does come out sometime in the fall. It does have a release date. I'll put it on screen right now, but I absolutely love this film. It's probably one of the best, most personal movies I've ever seen in my entire life. This was the final film I watched at South by Southwest this year. It's an amazing tale of immigrant parents, immigrant kids, and all of it just works so well together. I'm super excited for more people to see this film. In 2nd place for me is Monkey Man. You guys know I absolutely love this movie. Again, I've seen it 4 times, talked to Dev Patel about it, and this movie just hits so hard for me. It is one of the most exhilarating films to come out this year. It's action-packed, it's exciting, but it's also very emotional, and it does feel vulnerable, even though it is so packed with action every single second. It tells this beautiful story about that impact that mothers have on their children. It's also so infused with culture, obviously. I think this movie is absolutely amazing, and this is another one that has absolutely changed my life. But in 1st place for me is Dune Part 2. This is how you make movies. This is how you make a sci-fi epic, and this is how you build out a world. Denis Villeneuve with this film has solidified himself as one of my favorite directors of all time, probably right behind Christopher Nolan, but I have no questions that by the end of his career, he'll be one of the best in the game. Timothée Chalamet, Zendaya, Rebecca Ferguson, Javier Bardem, Austin Butler, everyone is at the top of their game here. Even all the actors characters that I forgot to mention because there's so damn many in this film. Everyone puts on a masterclass. This movie is exciting to watch from the first second to the final second. And yes, it feels like it's 400 hours long, but in the best way possible. There's not a single fault in this film, in my opinion. This is the perfect movie. Honestly, I'm so scared for a third movie because I don't know how we're going to get better than this. But guys, that wraps up my Letterboxd stats for 2024 so far. Again, check back in at the end of the year for my full year of stats along with my top 10 movies at the end of the year because we have some amazing movies coming out in the next 6 months. And again, let me know some of your Letterboxd stats in the comments down below along with your top 10 favorite films of the year so far. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.